Hello, welcome back. Here we go round the merry golf tree. Here we go round the mulberry tree. Yeah, that nearly works.
I think the intros to this show are some of the worst bits of the show, and also some of our worst work.
They are. But people get through them. I like it because it's keeping non-passionate golfers in my life fans away. If you're not really into the show, you hear that and go, this is awful, and you go. Which means we've now got the elite listener.
Just the pure golfer.
Who put up with that. Hello, welcome back. Tom and Tom here once more with you for another round of Golfers Ruining My Life. And it's a very, very exciting 18 holes that we're about to embark upon, isn't it?
It is, actually. Can I say, one, I am golf sad.
Oh.
I'm a little bit golf sad.
Why?
Because I've seen, I love golf YouTube.
Yep.
We don't make any bones about that on this show. The Rick Shields and Peter Finch are the reason I got back into this sport.
Yeah.
And all the influencers. Weird, actually, we've not been asked to do this.
Odd.
Maybe next year. All the influencers are now at Troon filming videos.
Oh, ahead of the Open.
Ahead of the Open.
So when Rick Shields did his, I'm qualified for Troon thing, but you can go and have a week there before.
Yeah, he'd already played it. And this makes me sad. One, because we're not invited. Guys.
Hello. Rude.
UK's fastest growing golf podcast.
You're welcome.
But two, it means that the final major is almost here.
That is true. And that is something which I cannot bear to think about. I really hate that moment. And I've found myself having a few nostalgic glimmers of sort of remembering April, that moment when the Masters first appears, and it's just beyond exciting. I really want for the Open, and we'll do loads of coverage as we get closer to the big event. I really want a European winner. I really think it would be a shame if there's 4 Americans winning it.
I was listening to a golf podcast, a rival golf podcast to ours recently, which is a lot more, we're golf nerdy, but they're all like professionals and statisticians and all that sort of thing.
No, not numbers.
Numbers guys. They really were hashtag back Rory.
Wow.
They think Troon is set up for a Rory win based on how he performed with Bryson at Pinehurst.
Yeah.
They said that he's on form. It feels like the golf course is the sort of course that he could shoot well at. So you saying you want a sort of a...
I want Rory to win. I just want Rory to win.
Yeah.
I would absolutely love Rory to win.
It could happen.
The last major of the year. But then there's always other stuff, isn't there? As we go into September, there's Wentworth and things like that. Other things come along. So there's always plenty.
And I don't think it's fair because in the UK... Well, everyone around the world knows about this, but in the UK, we had Glastonbury on the weekend. Yeah. And I always think when I come to the end of summer, I look back on summer, and Glastonbury always feels right at the first drops of summer.
And yet golf feels like it's over too early.
And I don't get it. I don't think
it used to be. The USPGA used to be in August, right? So the Open in July was not the end of the golfing season. And they moved it. And I still don't know why they've done that. I guess because then you get a major every 3 or 4 weeks. But they need to make more of these elevated events. And they need a big match play event that's not the Ryder Cup. And there's so many opportunities to do big stuff in golf in August, September and October.
Yeah.
There's Race to Dubai and stuff like that. Obviously, there's loads of stuff. But there could be more bigger one-off events that become that sort of... The majors are a jewel in the crown, right? They're a moment in the sporting year. You'll see golf coverage go to the top in terms of looking on your sports website or your sports newspaper. Golf goes to the top of the tree. And actually, outside of the 4 majors and the Ryder Cup, I don't think golf does get to the top of the tree outside of those 5 things.
And we're not far from having the Scottish Open. That's always an exciting thing to see.
Of course.
And I am fully into the conversations now about joining a new golf club.
I know.
And finding a new home.
Yeah.
And I've been texting my friend over the weekend, getting time in to come and play golf. I'm so ready.
That moment.
I think Fat TG might come back. And I think Fat TG could be back with a better golf swing.
Bring him back.
And maybe Fat TG is Scratch TG.
Oh, that's good. Well, you'd take that, right? If someone said to me...
I don't know. I love my jeans that fit me so well and they're a 31-inch waist, but that guy can't hit a drive.
Be off 3. If someone said to me, look, all your hair is going to grow back, right? And have a full head of hair.
Sure.
But you'll never shoot below 18 over par ever again in your life. I don't think I'd say that.
No, you wouldn't.
I'm happy to be bald and wrinkly. I'm happy for these things to happen if it means not that it does mean at all, but you know what I mean? I'm happy for that to happen.
To get you to scratch.
I don't know why I've suddenly equated hair loss with getting better at golf.
I don't know.
Some sort of deal has been done.
But there is a direct correlation.
I'm just saying there's a correlation for you. You have already announced that you're gonna. Do you think that's because you're gonna pause all of the running and the fitness stuff and play more golf. So you're worried that you might put weight on. Is that what you're saying?
I can only concentrate on one thing at a time because I'm a super addictive person. I've got a very addictive personality. I get into things.
I feel like you haven't been in the full golf addiction for a while because of running. I feel like you've sort of been cheating on me. Sports-wise.
Well, since...
Us, cheating on us. Your golf family who are all looking at you going, Daddy, where have you gone?
You've got to think about it. Like last year, started losing weight for the wedding and I had a whole year of losing weight. And then from the start of this year till the middle of the year, I had the marathon.
Of course.
And I'm just really ready to start. I've started to kid myself. I've started to have thoughts in the shower. I've started to have thoughts while I'm cycling to work of, hold on, I think I've unlocked what my problem is. And I don't, because I've watched a lot of videos recently of my golf swing.
Dangerous. My son was trying to film me the other day on the course. And I was like, I don't want it. I'm all feel at the moment.
But your swing's so nice, I think.
Thanks, love.
I think your swing is nice.
But I will, no, that's very nice of you to say, but I will still watch a video of it and go, ugh. And I'm just like, no, I don't want to see any videos of it. I don't want to see them. I want to just feel it.
I sent a video of my swing to Sky Sports golf presenter Incy Mehmet recently.
Right.
And she texts back going, yep, you've got this, the chicken wing thing that I have, right? As I come through my backswing's lovely. I think my backswing's really nice.
Yeah.
My backswing's really nice.
Lovely backhand.
And as I come through the ball, I pop up.
Yeah.
Weird, like when you think of like a Tiger, like Rory McIlroy, like coiling down into the ground, loading the ground.
Yeah.
All your energy goes into the ground.
Yeah.
I weirdly do the opposite thing. I pop up.
Yeah,
so I swing through and then do this, like come out of it. And I think if I can resolve that, that's going to be the difference. That's my thing. And that is all part of the chicken wing or whatever. And Incy said, there's loads of drills that you can do, little half swing drills to get all your body turning and twisting in the right way. That's my thing.
I see. I get that. Just feels like you should go flatter because then it's more body, more baseball swing.
I'm already super flat. My swing is already flat. I have when people talk about, you're good for this, like you're good at knowing different golfers' golf swings. I'm not so good at recognizing people's golf swings.
Yeah.
The only golf swing that I do consistently think about is Ian Poulter's because it is so the opposite of flat.
Yeah.
He's so like upright almost.
Yeah.
And that's what I think I need a little bit of. Is that more upright. That's the only issue in my backswing is I'd like it more upright. And then I need to work on coiling into the floor and power. Because I think I lose so much distance because of this chicken wingy popping out of it thing. Because
I look at Justin Thomas's swing. He goes straight up as well.
Yeah, that's what
Brooksy does as well.
Yeah, I need a little bit of that because I think this is why, as we talk about loads on this show, how far do you hit your clubs and blah, blah, blah. And I hit my 7-iron 150 yards, which is the average.
Yeah.
But for my age and for my ability, my fitness level, I should hit the golf ball further. Yeah. And I think I'm losing a lot of power with the chicken wing. My God, I'm back in golf addiction.
I love it.
And this is where I'm at. This is where I'm at.
This is basically what this show is built on. One of us just listening to the other, falling into a hole of a sort of web of thoughts about golf.
Yeah.
And I will just sit there listening to you thinking, oh, I'm not that mad.
God, he's lost it.
He's lost it. And then you'll listen to me thinking, oh, I'm not that mad. It's great. It's the support group. That's what we do on the show. The other thing which we don't do so much on the show, but we are about to, is get guests on.
Yeah. We don't do it so much because it's a lot of admin. It's a lot of a lot of emails. It's a lot of admin, and the most interaction we get on this show is about me and Tom just talking about our golf and sort of day-to-day golf issues, which I don't know whether guests would help that or not. However, good friend of mine and yours wanted to come on, so we thought we'd get him on. Yeah.
So without further ado, we're going to get in touch with. We're going to see if we can get the technology to work.
Oh God, this is going to be the bigger issue. The technology issue is he needs no introduction. Sam Westwood, a golfer very much within his own rights, battling out at the moment to get one of those elusive Challenge Tour cards. Has obviously got a depth and a breadth of experience because I don't know if you've heard of his dad. Lee Westwood.
Yeah, rings a bell.
Yeah,
we'll ask him about him. We'll mention him. All right.
Now, on Golf is Ruining My Life, over the 2.5 years we've been doing this show.
Is it 2.5 years?
It's ages.
Oh, mate.
A lot has changed. We've gone from me lying down in a flat in Preston, you broadcasting only from home, price to now we've got our own studio. We're viral on TikTok.
Yeah. My handicap has gone from 6.7 to like 4.8 back to about 6.2 again. And that's really the big roller coaster.
Your anger hasn't gone anywhere. It's still there.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that with our guest.
And it's time to welcome our only second ever guest to this show. He's your friend. He's my friend. It's Sam Westwood.
Hi, Sam Westwood.
Hi, Tom.
Sam, how are you, man?
Thanks for having me on, guys. This is great. This is great fun.
Are you okay?
I'm doing really well. I'm doing really well.
Good. So, Sam, tell us, first of all, a little bit about where you are at with your golf at the moment. Give us and I don't mean, the irons are going well. I mean, in terms of your golf career, what is happening to you right now?
You want the short history
Yes, please.
of my
Exactly
golf career. Well, I picked the game up quite late. I got my handicap in 2017, which feels like ages ago now, but probably doesn't feel that too long for you guys. And I got my 18 handicap in 2017. I think I shot rounds of 98, 97 and 103. What? Yeah, I wasn't great. And took me about 3 years to get down to scratch. And then another 2 to play some high level amateur stuff. And then I turned pro in October of 2023. So about 6 years. Okay. My amateur career lasted a big span of 6 years.
So hang on, how old were you when you took the game up? You say you started late. How old were you?
Oh, 2017. I mean, I've been around golf all my life. Obviously, my dad plays it. My uncle plays it on my mum's side as well. So I've been around the game my whole life. But it was always saw it as my dad's job. You know, I was a bit reluctant to pick it up. You know, I did my own sports. I played a lot of cricket. I did a bit of athletics. So, you know, I didn't really specialize. I didn't take it seriously until I was about, 15, 16.
Wild. So it's crazy that you picked it up so later on in life and managed to drill that handicap down so quickly. How did you do it? You must have just been playing constantly. Because you were at uni then as well, right? You went to uni in the middle of all this.
No, I went to uni in the middle of it, when COVID hit. So I had plenty of time to practice in the back garden. I got the bug. I started playing pretty much every day after school for, through winter. I'd be out there, it'd be snowing. I was living in East Lothian in Scotland, so out next to Gullin. So I had some pretty pristine practice facilities, Fortunate enough to be in such a golf heavy part of the world where, I think there's something like 14 golf courses on the Space Star Coast, and they're all brilliant golf courses. So I wasn't short on somewhere to play, so I got the bug and I played. I pretty much played every day, and then I took up playing a lot of like the junior competitions in the area. I played a lot of the Stephen Gallagher stuff, and then I went off to uni, which is where I'm currently. I went to Newcastle and I stayed here, and I played a bit through uni, but still didn't play to a high level. And it really took, COVID and after that for me to, whip my game into shape where I could somewhat compete at a high amateur level and then throw myself in the deep end, and I turned pro. And, I played last year on the Tartan Pro Tour up in Scotland, and this past year I played on the Clutch Pro Tour, so further down south and, around the Midlands sort of area.
This is great. This is great because something I've talked about before on the podcast is kids, when they're getting into sport, they need to have different sports. You can't just say to a kid, just do football because you're going to be a pro footballer. And it sounds like you've had that. You've had that thing of lots of different other sports. So something like cricket, massive team game, very kind of high pressure cricket as well. A lot of batsmen especially, very twitchy kind of, you've got to be in a very mentally, high tension state of mind. Tell us a bit about how different sports have helped you with the golf then, and do you still feel yourself drawing on them?
Somewhat, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, I never was under any pressure to perform, in sports at any level. My family never put any pressure on me to play golf. They never put any pressure on me when I played, sports growing up. I really just enjoyed being outside, playing, just playing a sport. I've always been, pretty athletic. I've always enjoyed, running, jumping, all that sort of stuff. So I think growing up, I just found it fun, and I think that's something that when you specialize at a young age, you're missing sometimes. Some kids nowadays, they're drilled into golf when they're 3 or 4. The moment they can walk, they've got a golf club in your hand, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But sometimes you can beat it to death.
Yeah. By the way, kudos for saying kids nowadays. Well done. You know,
Kids
as soon as
nowadays.
you said that, you are officially 40. Congratulations.
You aged yourself instantly. And I think most of the listeners
I'm 23.
of this show will know the way the sort of the golf ranking works, and we speak about Challenge Tour loads on this show after I worked on it last year. Sam, so you're basically the path you're going through is to try and get one of those spots which will get you onto the Challenge Tour. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm currently playing a mini tour in the UK that offers 3 Challenge Tour cards towards the end of the year, which is the Clutch Pro Tour, and they've got many opportunities through the year in different tournaments to win starts on various Challenge Tour tournaments. So, you play well. Good golf fixes everything. You play well, you earn your card, you earn status, and you build you out from there. The path I've chosen is not going to be the same as like my dad or people that play high level college golf that you see getting exemptions in the PGA Tour events, things like that. It's the path I've chosen is just to throw myself in the deep end and work my way up the levels and gain experience as I go. Playing these clutch events, playing any sort of tournament I'm fortunate to get into. I've been very lucky to be offered starts by the Asian Tour to play, and I played the International Series England last year at my home course, Close House, and I've played a couple of the Asian Tour events, and the experience I've gained from playing at at a high level, surrounded by some amazing golfers. It's invaluable because you take that onto the week to week on Clutch Tour, and it's just you keep chipping away, and it keeps getting easier, and you keep learning. And that's all I'm trying to do at the minute is just gain a lot of experience, keep learning about myself and my game, and just try and build week to week.
Us too, mate. Us too. I feel you, brother.
It's a bit different. It's a bit different for you guys.
We have less caddies and we have to pay for our balls, but basically it's the same.
When was the last time you went to the range?
Which Tom are you talking to? That's the problem. Price or Green? If you're asking
it's a
price,
answer.
Yeah, it's been a long time
Tom's
since
plural.
I did a range grinding session. And I think that is the difference,
Well, you're a
isn't it?
married man now, Tom. It's a bit difficult.
I'm a married man. Both of us are married men with
Are you?
so many responsibilities now that the range is far harder to get into. But I think that's the difference between the sport that I know and a lot of the listeners know and the sport that you play is you have those hours and hours grinding to get the skills better.
How long will you be practicing for?
I've been practicing this morning. We're 10 past 1 now. I was up early this morning. My girlfriend, she's a primary school teacher, so she's up at the crack of dawn to get to work. So she usually gets me up and out of bed, and I'm at the golf course fairly early when I'm not trying to going to the gym and stay fit and stay flexible. But I'll work my daily schedule a couple different ways depending on how I'm feeling. If I've got a tournament, I'm playing a tournament tomorrow in the Scottish Borders, so nothing too intense today. Just woke up, went to the range, hit 100 odd balls to start off this morning, and then you go do a bit of putting, bit of short game, hit a few more balls. And then I would have gone out and played this afternoon, but I had to talk to you.
So if you don't do well at this tournament, it's
to
our
come
fault.
back.
Literally connected.
It's all your
Can you tell
fault.
me something? I'm interested to know if there's 3 cards available at the end of the year. How many of you are on this Clutch Tour? So what are the odds that you're looking at? What are you staring down?
Oh, there's about 155 to 160 guys a week. I mean, like you say, it's a lot of the time you're just playing against the golf course and you're playing against yourself, and you kind of have to forget about the rest of the field. But yeah, the fields are very strong at a mini tour level. Everyone's grinding, everyone wants it as much as the next guy. So it's just about finding those 1 percentiles where you can and working a little bit harder than everyone else, and just hope that the scores come. You can't force it, and you just gotta keep trying to play as best you can and keep learning from every week.
And I've been very fortunate
That's kind of been my takeaway.
to play golf with you, Sam, and golf with a lot of people who are at this level, that Challenge Tour, Clutch Pro Tour, trying to get Q School. And the one thing everyone says to me, I don't know how you feel about this, is between DP World Tour and Clutch and Challenge, the margins are so small at this stage because everyone's a great golfer, right? How far off do you feel you are, or do you just think you've not had the string of wins yet to get it across the line?
I'm very early in my golf career, so at the minute it's just about, I keep saying it, is gaining experience and learning from everything. That's my goals for this season especially. I've had conversations with my team, and it's all about not putting pressure on myself and not saying, oh, I need to get a card by next year, I need to get a card by the year after. It's just, incremental, gains and getting better and hopefully, come next year, I'm better than I am, at this time this year. It's just all about seeing those marginal improvements. But I've spoken to a lot of high-level coaches. I've been coached by some, great people, and they coach some people on, Challenge and European Tour, and they would say, I'd say that the difference between, the levels is self-belief. The difference between a guy at our level, Challenge Tour level, getting towards DP and PGA Tour, is just believing that you can do it and believing you're capable of it. Because guys will hit balls in the range, and everyone's best is fairly similar. It's raising your floor that then makes you better than the next guy. Is being able to turn your 3-4 overs into level par 100s and stay within a sniff of with a lead of a golf tournament. And just believing that you're capable of that. Because if you can do that week in, week out, then you'll work your way towards that Challenge Tour card, those European Tour sort of statuses. And it works different for everybody because you could play well on clutch this year and you could be top 3 and get your card that way, or you might have a poor season, might finish outside the top 20, but then come European Q School in September, you might win, you might get through to second stage, you might win that, and you might get through to finals, you might earn your card that way. So it's never really over for a professional golfer. You've always got more opportunities. And I think as long as you can believe in yourself and understand there's always going to be that next opportunity, and not fall into a poor cycle of thinking, then you can succeed and you can get better.
I think I've been in a poor cycle of thinking since about 1996. So I think this is my way of breaking out of it. This chat with Sam could be the moment, Tom.
Yeah, your poor cycle of thinking hasn't done anything for your career at golf, has it?
Not yet, but it's still there. I'm interested when you talk about getting the coaching and stuff. When I get coaching, and this is part of the addiction of getting coaching, is suddenly you will have a little breakthrough during the session, right? And you'll go, oh, hang on, if I do that, and this guy's saying push it there and pull that around there, and suddenly you see the flight change and you go, oh, that's a step above. Do you get to a stage where you're so good now where you no longer make those big breakthroughs? Or is everything so tiny now, I
don't know. I think every golfer finds a feel and they fall in love with that feel for about a week and then disappears the next week.
Yeah,
good. I don't think that changes from amateur to professional.
That's comforting. That's good to know.
You find a feel one week and it works, and I think the key is figuring out what that feel actually translates to in your swing and then drilling it and grinding it in so that your swing, you don't feel that anymore, but it's there in your swing. So you train it and you trust it. As Bob Rotella, the sports psychologist, says, you don't have to think about that feel anymore because you understand that it's going to be there in your swing regardless.
And how in depth are you going with these swing thoughts now? Because the swing thoughts we talk about on this show, for me, a massive one has been slow the swing speed down. Sam, when we played, I was at peak speed green, so the fastest golf swing anyone's ever seen. What thoughts are you having now? Is it as broad as that, or is it really sort of like small thoughts?
I'd say I try and keep it pretty specific because you can't play golf, you can't play tournament golf with a million thoughts running through your brain. You've got milliseconds from taking the club away to making contact. So you can't be thinking about a million things at once. I've probably got 3 swing thoughts at the minute that I work on. One of them's not swing slow. I'm trying to swing it a bit faster at the minute. I'm trying to gain that swing speed. I want to be as fast as peak Tom Green.
You don't, mate. You don't.
No.
Trust me.
No.
Going into this weekend then, so you got a tournament this weekend. How do you prepare yourself? How do you feel about it? Are you kind of like, I just don't know what's going to happen, or do you go in thinking, yeah, no, this is it now. I've got those drives sorted out, much more consistent. Like, how do you prepare yourself for it?
I had a practice round last Wednesday. It's at Roxburgh Golf Club, so that's about an hour and a half from me in the Scottish borders. I had a practice round on Wednesday, so I've seen the golf course. I've seen how the greens are. I've seen how thick the rough is in certain areas, trying to plot my way around that golf course. So I've got a plan for playing it. I've practiced everything I want to practice. I've practiced my lag putting, my short range putting, is something I try and focus on before going into a tournament. So I've got the speed of the greens. I'm trying to think what else. I'd really think about. I had an experience. Open qualifying wasn't too long ago. That was last week, and I went through. It's about an hour drive for me to get to Gozik Golf Club, which was where my local qualifier was, and I got stuck in traffic. And I got
Did you do
there.
a Scheffler? Did you get arrested, Sam?
I did not get arrested. Fortunately, I got stuck in really bad traffic though, and I got to my tee time about 10 minutes. Got to the golf course about 10 minutes before my tee time.
That's very Tom Green.
Yeah, and I usually try and get there about an hour before, so I felt pretty rushed. But it gave me a level of focus that I quite enjoyed.
Yeah.
So this tournament, I'm going to try and somewhat feed off that, and maybe not take as much time warming up and just go out there and play golf and not put too much pressure on myself to perform and just trust my golf.
How did you get on in open
so that's
qualifying?
kind of the feel
What were the results for you? What did you do?
I played quite well. One of the things I talk about is seeing year-on-year improvement, and I played really poor last year in open qualifying. I made the moment mean a lot more than it should have. And I stood up on the first tee on open qualifying, just happy to be there, just happy to have made my tee time. And I played really well, and I was 1 under through 16 holes.
Okay.
And I think 1 under was the number that qualified in the end for my local qualifier. So I knew I was playing quite well, and then I finished bogey. And I finished 1 over, and I put myself out of qualifying. But just being in the hunt for, on a one-day qualifier, it doesn't mean too much in the end. But just putting myself in contention and feeling how my game holds up under pressure is a really nice thing to test yourself.
How were you after you had that bogey finish? Like, what do you do?
I was quite well. There was a moment where you sign your scorecard and you're very polite and everything, because the only person, it's no one else's fault that you've finished bogey. So you shake the person's hand you're playing, you say thanks very much, you sign your scorecard, you tell everyone thanks for volunteering for the week because they do such a great job, and then you walk to the car and you drive off, and there's a little moment aside and you go, damn, I almost had it. But the best thing about being a golfer is there's always this week and there's always next week. And
we go again.
You find someone that
says,
we go again.
I love open qualifying. I've been lucky to go along and watch it a few years ago and watch the regional qualifying and the final qualifyings this Tuesday. And there's no golf courses near me that are doing it, which I'm gutted about because I really wanted to go along. And it's quite interesting for different golfers who do open qualifying, especially the regional stuff, is because there's not loads of fans watching, but if you have a personal following, like you're one of the YouTube guys, so like Rick and Pete did it, they've got a huge amount of people watching them.
It spooked them, though. It spooked Rick.
It has. I know it's put them off in the past.
To film that qualifying round and put it out.
Rick filmed the whole thing and put it out, and he really struggled on the front 9 and then picked it up over the back 9. But obviously, Sam, with your dad being a relatively famous golfer who most people have heard of, do you find people following you and you hear the whispers of, oh, do you know who that is? Like, how do you deal with that?
I think I've dealt with that a lot more as an amateur than as a professional, because everyone at this level, we all understand, what we are playing for and what the stakes are. And I've not had many people follow me around, especially on mini tours and clutch and tartan. There've never been too much interest. Open qualifying is pretty similar. You get the family of the players that come around, and I've had a few people follow me around before, but I'm fairly comfortable with that sort of thing. I like being like under more pressure than usual, because it gives me the opportunity to learn from that again, like I said, and see how my game performs under a bit more pressure, and it's a great learning experience.
And what does your dad say about this? Because what I find fascinating is that it sounds like golf wasn't necessarily front and foremost in your mind, and he obviously didn't put any pressure on you, and now obviously golf is right in front of you, and this is what you're doing. And what is your dad saying? Is he helping you? Does he give you coaching? Does he just let you get on with it? Is he allowed to coach you, or are you just like, Dad, it's so embarrassing, leave me alone? There used to be
a time when I would do that. I'd go, Dad, this is embarrassing. And
you think you are Ian Poulter?
And not listen to him. When I first started out, but the older I've got, the more golf I've played, the more I realised that he might know a thing or two about professional golf, and he is a great person to go to now and pull off of when it comes to playing tournament golf, playing with a lead or playing in contention. He's very good for picking up a lot of the mental side of golf. I pick his brains for that sort of stuff. I have a swing coach outside of my dad, but I do like my dad having a look at my swing, because he knows a lot about the golf swing. He's seen almost every coach that's out there through his long career on tour. So he kind of knows what to look for in my swing.
Yes, he knows it.
But I've got a swing coach, and I've got him, and he's been great. He's put no pressure on me. We have meetings every now and then, and we just talk about how I'm feeling, and we talk about how we can help. And I've got a really good team around me of people that are very encouraging, and I couldn't really ask for much more as a professional golfer. As him as my dad as well. Yeah, he's does a really good job of separating the golf from just being my dad, and I don't think I could ask for much more. In this sort of situation.
Do you need two blokes who host a podcast and aren't necessarily that good at golf to advise you? Because if you do, we're available. We're ready. We can help.
I mean, I've seen Tom's game when we played
All right, mate.
last year at JCB. It wasn't.
I actually, funnily enough, we've played. Me and Simon played together twice. Once at JCB, once at Close House. Yeah. Remarkably, my golf being okay at Close House was actually all right. And as obviously we spoke about on this show,
this is how bad my memory is. I forgot we played at.
Close House.
I forgot how poorly
he's wiped
JCB
it off his brain.
No, I played unbelievable. And at the JCB, Sam, I think you remember rightly, I beat you. Me and my now father-in-law beat you and your partner on the iconic 17th when I parred it up and down from the bunker. Cheers, lads. Cheers. Thank you very much. Now,
just one of the great things about being a professional golfer is that goldfish memory I was talking
about. Yeah.
I
Let it go.
As
soon as you hit the shot, it's over. Go on. Love that.
Now, Sam, you've obviously been very lucky to play some amazing golf courses, and this podcast is full of the golf geeks. Mm-hmm. Give me your best golfing experience. I know you've caddied at the Masters, I think is right. Give me best playing experience and then best experience just being around golf.
Best playing experience. It's pretty easy. Undoubtedly, it would have been play Augusta with my dad about 4 weeks before the Masters a few years ago. So the course was in immaculate condition. I got to play it with my dad and a couple of the members that, graciously invited us out. And it couldn't have been a more surreal experience. I can't remember what I shot. It was millions, but it was the happiest.
Was it hard? Is it super hard?
I think I've ever played. We got it a bit windy and a bit cold, and the ball wasn't flying very far, and the greens were firm and they were fast. Right. And I don't think I've ever enjoyed shooting such a high score as that before.
Love it.
But that's golfing heaven. That's Augusta with my dad before the Masters. And then I caddied in that Masters that year as well. So that was incredible. Brilliant. Best caddy experience, I think the Ryder Cup at Whistling Straits trumps the Masters just. Yeah. I know we lost, but the camaraderie on the European team is incredible. They're a great bunch of guys, and I had the most fun being part of that team that week. Yeah. And I was made to feel so welcome, and I don't think I'll ever get to experience, well, hopefully I will get to experience something like that in the future, but so far, and in my golfing caddy career, that's been up there as one of the best experiences.
Sam, before we finish this, obviously, your experiences are interesting, but we need your advice. We need your help, because a lot of people listen to this.
How can I help?
Okay, right. So one of the things that we're discovering that people like about the podcast is that relatability about how we are all suffering. We are all riddled with this mental illness that is golf, right? Is there a headline? Is there a top line thing you can impart to us? And by us, I very much mean me, to control the anger, the fury, the rage, because that's something I struggle with, and a lot of listeners have it as well. How do you extract the anger and understand it's just golf, it's just happening to you, and you go again? Because once you crack that, and I've had a couple of rounds where I have, and I'm like a different person. How do you crack that? No pressure.
One of the best things I thought I did for myself was read a lot of golf psychology books. Nice. So Bob Ratella is a great person for me. Golf is not a game of perfect.
Yep.
Is like my holy Bible. Yep. I read that front to back, and one of the things that sticks out to me is he says, you've always got a choice. You can choose to be angry, or you can choose to accept what's happened, and you can choose to look down the next fairway and see the target and hit the ball towards the target. So I think mentally, Ratella is a go-to. Yeah. I've struggled definitely in the past with managing my anger.
Okay, that's interesting.
I've had some rounds where I've shot millions and been angry. Yeah. I think using them as learning experiences and understanding that being angry isn't the way forward, unless you're Tyrrell Hatton, who's very good at being angry outwardly.
He just simmers, doesn't he? He just simmers.
Yeah. But the thing about Tyrrell is he's not shouting at himself necessarily. A lot of his criticisms and whatever he says is outward. It's projected. He says how rubbish the golf course is, or he says how everything's not his fault. Nothing's ever his fault. And I think
Tom Price can relate to this.
Angry as he may sound, it's quite a healthy way of thinking.
Yeah, it's not too self-destructive.
It's not very self-destructive. It's pointing out you're not picking yourself apart. You're picking everything else. So I think that's, if you're going to be angry, be angry at something else. Don't be angry at yourself.
Love that.
And we have a lot of golf nerdy chat on this about favourite golf clubs and favourite little bits of bric-a-brac that are in our golf bags. I speak so much about my beautiful Scotty Cameron on this show, and how I've always wanted.
He's going to mention the 7-wood.
Yes, and my new amazing Cobra 7-wood. Have you got any like really special clubs for you that you keep in the bag a lot, or like bits of memorabilia that you will never get rid of?
Oh, well, I've got one thing at the minute is my Ping putter. I've just got the new Oslo putter from Ping, which is what Victor Hovland uses, and it's been a game changer for me. It's been my first ever putter I've used at Space Balance, so that's been really helpful towards me. Something that a piece of golf memorabilia is quite a sad story. The year I caddied in the Masters, a lot of the players get putters, Scotty Cameron limited edition putters as pieces of memorabilia.
Oh, is this Circle T?
It's like a Circle T sort of. Mine was from the year before, so it was the Hideki Matsuyama edition when he won, and I got given it to look after, and it's a piece of golf memorabilia. It comes with a certificate and everything. I've got the certificate upstairs, and I thought one day I'll just take it out onto the golf course and I'll try this putter out stupidly. So I kept it in my bag for a week or two, and I left it in my bag, and I left my bag in my car one day. No. And my car got stolen.
Oh, Sam.
So I lost my bag, all of my memorabilia that I had in there from when I played Augusta, all my ball markers, a couple of hats, this putter, and I love this putter, and to this day I have no idea where
have you looked on eBay? I was going to say, Sam, I knew you were going to tell this story, and I was on eBay last night, and look what I've got! Can you imagine? I don't put it in here!
Found it on eBay. God, that would have been such a happy. Sorry, ended it on a high.
Yeah,
that was brutal.
If anything, I've more salt in the wound there because I've just made a joke about it.
Unbelievable.
I do have another piece of golf memorabilia quickly that I do like is when Team USA won the Ryder Cup, they all got given champion hats, and I do feel quite bad, but someone had lost their champion hat and they'd left it behind a beanbag or behind a sofa or under a chair or something at one of the after parties, and I just happened to pick it up and put it in my bag and take that home with me.
Lovely.
So I did a bit of Ryder Cup.
Lovely.
A bit of Ryder Cup memorabilia.
Sam Westwood's a tea leaf. You heard it here first. Brilliant stuff. Love that.
Because there was some pretty
minesweeping for memorabilia.
There was some pretty crazy parties at 150 as well, right? Because you were there at 150. And a lot of these, so obviously the Open, 150 at St Andrews, and there was a lot of big parties that weekend. And you went to one, didn't you, Sam?
No, I don't remember.
Absolutely no comment. I'm just one final question before you go. Again, for the golf geeks, can you give us a what's in the bag right now of 2024? What are you playing with?
Oh, what's in the bag? At the minute, I've just gone and got fitted for some new clubs. I've gone for some different shafts. I've stuck with the same drivers. I'm with the G430s, the Pings. Ping have been, so good to me through the years. They've looked after me. They've fitted me. They've given me so much support and all the equipment I could ask for. And I'm just very grateful towards them for what they've given me. Yeah. Like I said, I've got the Ping Oslo putter in at the minute. I've got the new Blueprint. I think that S is or the Blueprint T irons. I've gone from a little bit more of a smaller, bladey sort of iron. Okay. They're brilliant.
What's your lowest iron? What do you start at?
As in
2 iron, 3 iron, 4 iron?
I've got a 2 iron with a graphite shaft in it for when it gets a bit windier. I've got a 3 iron that's not in the bag at the minute. I've got a 4 iron would be my lowest iron at the minute, and then it goes to love a hybrid.
Yeah.
Love playing a hybrid, and then 3-wood and driver.
Thought about the 7-wood?
Don't
Thought about
Sam.
the 7-wood?
I mean, if you, big tip for an amateur is don't kid yourself and play long irons. If you've got the game, play them. But if not, don't be ashamed of putting a few extra metal woods in the bag. Hybrid 7-woods, like you say, Tom.
Yeah,
If you can fly that 7-wood in there and hit every green, you've got no issues.
it's true.
It has genuine. I know I've said this so much on the show, but it has been the biggest change in my golf game is having a 7-wood that I can hit consistently 220 yards and get some air in it. Like, I don't have a club in my bag previously that could do that. Like, my longest iron wouldn't go that far.
Yeah.
But whereas that was just consistent every single time in the air. It's a great club.
I can't wait to see it.
Oh, mate, he goes on and on about it. There'll be he'll be banging on your door about 3 a.m. Sam, you said you wanted to see my 7-woods. Wake up.
Sam, thank you so much for joining us as only our
Sam.
second guest on the Golf is Ruining My Life podcast. We've never really suck out guests on this show. Sucked.
So we've done what to guests? So that's your other podcast, mate.
We've never really sucked them.
I'm not doing that to him.
We've never really had guests on this show for various different reasons, and we've only really had friends on this show, so it's so nice to have another one of our friends on this show. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Sam Westwood,
Thank you, Sam Westwood. Thank you. Huge fan, Sam.
Thank you, Toms. Thank you.